Welcome back to part two with Chad Sayers, mate. We had a terrific chat with you earlier last week. So, mate, we want to follow up your time with the Redbacks. 2011, you joined the team right through till now when you announced your retirement. Some good moments, mate, and not enough wins in all of that. What were some of the real good moments for you with the Redbacks?
I think making the two Shield finals in a row was something as a player you really want to play in. It's probably closest to Test cricket you're going to play in, so to make those.
That's true. Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of them I had a leg injury, which probably cost us a little bit, but I took 7 for in the second one in Alice Springs, which is probably a highlight of my career in Shield cricket.
I remember that game, and I remember thinking, why are we in Alice Springs? Why are we in Alice Springs? That was just staggering.
Well, and what's the answer?
Well, I don't know.
Chad might be able to give us a clue.
I do remember thinking, why
the
the hell are we playing a Shield final?
I think that was a Victorian home game, so MCG obviously taken by footy, and the Junction Oval was getting redeveloped, so I don't think they had any first-class quality grounds.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, Alice Springs it was.
The hat-trick?
Yeah,
only the second player, I think. That's another feather in the cap. Who were they? 9-10 Jack, or who did we get?
It was the first 3 wickets of the season, actually.
That's right.
Joe Burns, a young Ben McDermott debuting, and Peter Forrest. So,
now, there's some good players. They're good players.
Funnily enough, we took 4 wickets for the day, so...
Don't matter.
Through.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a chance to bowl against the Aussie guys in the net when you're on the Australian team, so you get a feel for them, and you've bowled against some of the best in the world, be it Shield, be it playing for Australia. Who do you reckon your top 3 or 4 where you're coming down looking at them going, I've got to be pretty good to get this guy?
Yeah.
De Villiers is one, and you got him.
Yeah, obviously playing Test cricket, anyone you bowl into is probably
pretty good. Yeah.
Pretty decent. So, Hashim Amla and that, it's pretty cool to play against him. I guess your likes of Ricky Ponting, Steve Smith, Mike Hussey, all them blokes. I think probably the one that didn't play for Australia as much as any of them was probably Ed Cowan, opening batsman from New South and Tasmania. He just never gave you anything. He was a really nice opening batsman.
Between Ponting and Smith for you, which was the tougher one to get?
I only bowled to Ricky not that long because I nicked him off actually. So, but they're both.
Oh well, then it's Smith. Okay.
They're both unique in their both ways. So,
what do you look for when you're coming down? You've touched on you've got that unbelievable outswinger that's just such a great weapon. When you're taking the ball and you're looking at who you're bowling, what are you looking for to attack?
I'm just always trying to challenge the stumps, really. Swing away from off stump, and then if it nips back, then you're in the game as well. Most batsmen are susceptible to those deliveries, so if you can do that a number of times, you're probably looking at their feet movement as well. If you can pitch the ball a bit fuller or just hang it back a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting because some people look at it and go, he just comes out and bowls. Yeah. There's a much greater science to it, isn't it? What you're saying, I look at his feet, the way he holds the bat, where his stance is, trying to pick that weakness and attack it. Yeah. And it takes a while to identify that, though, doesn't it?
Like any sport, you do your research going to any game. It's probably basketball or footy as well. So
plus, you know, don't you? You know, is it hooker or is it? Don't toss anything up to him because he'll peel one off on you or whatever. So these blokes know that.
That's what I'm saying, though. But people that go to the cricket, if you're sitting in a group of people that go, he just needs to bowl fast. You go, no, it's a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah, it is a little bit more. And it should be too. That's the way it should be because there's some really really good players at the top level all the way around the country. You need to know their strengths and weaknesses.
Who gives the best lip? Who's gives the best lip over the years, mate?
How long you got?
I don't know. It actually doesn't happen that much anymore. I guess you play against a lot of them all the time. So
yeah, well, they get used to you. You're a veteran now, so
you
kind of
become mates.
Yeah.
Ricky Ponting did give me a serve one day, so we'll say he's got some pretty good lip.
Yep. Okay.
It was a bit more rife I think when I played back in the 70s and whatever.
Does it do that though? When you come in as a young kid, they test you pretty early. Then you've been around a while, so like you said, you have a drink with them later on, or you get to know them, so you become friends. It's harder to lip a guy that's your friend, also you're older, so you tend not to listen.
Yeah, I think you obviously got to get in the contest. So however you want to do that, if it's body presence or lip.
I'll give you this quickly, Phil. When I walked out to play against Queensland first game, I walked out and they were in a little huddle because he's got a wicket. And Sam Trimble was captain of Queensland, and he turned around to the scoreboard, looked at the scoreboard, and he turned around to his team and he said, "Curtin," he goes. Anybody ever heard of this bloke? And they all went, nah, never heard of him. He turned to me and said, Sonny, you at the right ground? Now, I'd only just walked out to bat. No one ever says to me before, ever. And I walked out to bat and that's what happened to me. I thought, what have I done? It was brutal. It was really brutal. But it's a tough game. People think cricket is a, you know, it's a tough game.
Let's talk about it, mate. It is brutal. Been some lean years with the Redbacks the last 3 or 4. With your experience, we're not throwing anyone under the bus here. We don't expect you to do any of that sort of stuff. Mate. What would you change? What do you think needs to change for the Redbacks to resurge?
I think on paper we've got a decent list of talented cricketers. You got likes of Travis Head, Alex Carey, you bowlers, you got Daniel Worrell, Wes Agar coming through now, and David Grant. So the talent's there. I think maybe we're lacking a spinner. A lot of spinners have come and gone through my time at the Redbacks, and in Shield cricket you need on day 4 you need a match winner, so which is generally a spinner.
Nathan Lyon. Come and went. He played and
He'd
went.
be handy right now, wouldn't he?
Well,
We've had some good ones though.
Mate.
3 or 4 years ago, or it might be a bit like that, 5 years ago, we had a couple of lads that looked like being really good spinners, and then we lost them.
I think Popey and a couple of others that burst onto the scene, but they haven't been able to really cement a spot or whatever. But like you say, Nathan Lyon would have been
handy.
He goes to, you know, I always gets me further opportunities in New South Wales. Well, beauty. That's because. You know, 90% of the test team gets picked from New South Wales.
Can you get pay? Is there more pay in New South Wales? Is that part of the attraction?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's pretty similar salary cap to them as well. So, and he'd get paid by Cricket Australia. So
it's more the exposure of being in New South Wales.
I think he went there because of family reasons. But
there would be no way that I would leave and play in any other ground in Australia than Adelaide Oval. It's one of the great grounds to play on. It's just a fantastic ground to play on. If you ever walked out in the middle out there, there is no better place to play.
Can you remember the first time you did it? Yeah, I remember KG tells the story about the first time, and it's still one of his great cricket.
I was lucky enough to debut there, so against Tasmania. So that was.
Is it tingling? Is the spine tingling moment?
Yeah, it's a beautiful ground. You always go there and watch Shield games and Test cricket, and you just wish you were out there.
And it's that smell, mate, isn't it? It's that smell. You get to that gate. And it's that smell that gets everybody. It's just a magnificent, that grassy, you know, Adelaide Oval, you know, beautiful day, fantastic place. But I'm going to ask you about your batting, because not a lot of people talk about your batting, but you're actually quite a good bat. You're not you're no 9-10 jack mug. You work pretty hard on your batting, like bowlers should do.
Yeah, I think when I came onto the scene, my batting in grade cricket was pretty good, and I'd like to challenge myself and get up the order in that. So. I started well in Shield cricket, and then for a few years there I just lost it and couldn't make a run.
Is that for not working on your game? That's working on your craft, or you're bowling and you're not, and the batting is in the back of your mind a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, but yeah, as you said, I love working on my batting. I love batting, so yeah, in the last 2 or 3 years, I think I just went out with no fear and played aggressively, and it started to work. I found a good formula.
Well, I always thought that when you're watching the Sackers and they lose a few wickets and whatever, and you get on your thing, oh no, Chatty's in. He can stick around for a while. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Oh no, he'll hang around. He's all right. He's okay. Not oh crikey, look who's in here. 2 minutes later we're going to be 8 down or whatever. So he can bat, and I think that's important for all bowlers out there, that they learn how to bat, because if there's 2 blokes about to be picked for the Sackers and one of them can bat, he's going to get in.
Hey, mate, normally the blokes that bat talk about how good they are at bowling. The blokes that bowl talk about how good they are at batting. Do you ever have to listen to Dizzy Gillespie's stories, mate, tell you how good he was to save Australia that time with the bat?
Yeah, well, we got 201 not out.
Oh, no!
So he always brings that up. He signs off with his text messages, #210, so...
Yeah, because I know it was a pretty good innings, because my wife bowled from the northern end in that game for Bangladesh. 200 against Bangladesh. Des, come on.
No, that's a good score.
You still got to get them, don't you?
Doesn't matter who you get against. Hey, Chad, really appreciate your time, mate. We've taken up a fair bit of it, mate.
Before we go, mate, you have to say what a terrific hat.
I think it's fantastic that he put a P on for Phil. I think that's fantastic, mate. I appreciate it.
Baz rang me and told me to wear this hat in,
Yeah, for Philadelphia.
Done well, mate. And good luck, mate. Good luck with your club stuff. I know you'll do really well. I bet you the Bays are happy that you're back having a bit of a bowl. So good luck to you, mate. Hey, thanks for coming in.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, Chad SASS was our special guest. Stay with us. Still a bit more to come.